Parents, are you having a hard time getting your child to consume vitamins or some sort of a semblance of nutrients every day? I'm going to share with you some tips, but more importantly, I'm going to share with you some products that I use and recommend in the life of my little three-nager, almost 4-year-old. Hopefully we're out of the zone. So stick around for all of you parents and caregivers. This video is going to be powerful in supporting your children's bodies. Welcome back, friends. I'm Dr. Melissa Gallagher, and it is so great to see you today. I'm very excited to talk to you about something very personal to us in our family. We, as parents, take very seriously the nutritional intake of our little toddler. He doesn't look like a toddler, but he's almost 4. His name's Gabriel. And I'm in planning mode for his birthday, but as I plan, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe how fast he's grown, and it's time for us to do a nutrient panel on him, which kicked off the whole idea, and also with a lot of questions you all ask, I thought, you know what, I'm going to share with you what we have found has been beneficial for Gabriel in increasing his nutrient density as well as intake of core vitamins and supplements, and I'm going to share with you what he prefers. We've experimented with a lot. And one of the things that my first recommendation is that you might find a product that might not be 100% clean, but it gives you 95% of what you need. I've learned that sometimes you have to be way more flexible with the ingredients and sometimes the nutrients. With Gabriel and a lot of my younger patients, I'd rather them get something than nothing, because as these children age, and really what we're talking about is like 2.5, 3 to about 12 or 13. That's the gap that I'm referencing right now. My 13, 14, 15-year-olds, I put them on different, more teen supportive nutrients. We divided out male and female, but this category, like 2.5, 3 to 12, this will all be highly beneficial for your children. So first and foremost, I'm always asked, okay, Dr. Melissa, what do you give your child for a multivitamin? And obviously my first answer is food first. He juices, but as he's gotten a little bit older and he's in school now, and I don't have full control over everything he's consuming, i.e. like he's eating a healthy lunch, but it's not always what I'm packing, or if he neglects to eat something, which, hello, comment down below, tips, parents, for picky, pesky little finicky eaters. That's Gabriel. It's sometimes difficult. Step number 1, be flexible. Step number 2 is lay down a routine. Gabriel has a routine. We have supplements in the morning, we have supplements in the evening. And he takes some with food, he takes some without food. Before bed, it all kind of depends on each child, what the requirements are. But the thing to know is that if you start to get into a routine and a habit, they end up controlling their intake, which is exactly what's happened. Now, our child, he's part analytic, or he's more analytical, and he is quite dominant. And so those two values really work well for routine and also the kind of his control of him determining when he's going to consume supplements. So for instance, going back to number 1, my flexibility is if he doesn't take his vitamin C or vitamin D in the morning, I don't flip. We just make sure we catch that in the evening. So you just kind of work with them. The first supplement I want to recommend, especially now that we're in school season, is the Garden of Life, the doctor formulated brain health supplement. This has actually been crafted and developed by Dr. Perlmutter. I've met him at conferences, functional medicine conferences I go to. He's a very well-known neurologist. I think he lives down in Naples. This is for attention and brain focus. It's organic, it's gluten-free, it's dairy-free, it's soy-free, it's vegetarian, it's shelf-stable, and it'll improve healthy brain function. That's the one thing, as children are developing and they hit different milestones, we have to, number 1, above a multivitamin, is support their brains. And these are little chew tabs. So Gabriel will grab it and put it in his mouth and chew it. And this one's a little bit more potent, so I always have something sweeter or that'll wash it down. But I really, really love this. There's several ingredients in here. It has vitamin C, it has vitamin D, it has wild berry, and then it has emblic, which is amla. And then it also has a pine bark and some probiotics, 2 kind of core probiotics. This is really powerful at helping support mental acuity and mental focus. And the pine bark contains what we call OPCs, which are very antioxidant and very pro-supportive of brain health. So in the event, let's say you have a child with ADD, ADHD, this would be an excellent addition to help them with focus, and that we position that in the morning time. But again, if your child's like, I don't want it, don't fight, just pass it on. Sometimes I'll include those in his lunchbox if I do pack his lunch. And then also I will put it in as an option after school. So there's a lot of different ways to kind of add it in, but primarily you want to make sure they get it in the morning time. The second supplement that is crucial every day, of vitamin D3. And this happens to be the Child Life, and it's got a little bit of a strawberry type of flavor to it. This is about 500 IUs of vitamin D. We actually dose him more based on his levels, and that helps sleep, it helps brain function, it supports their immune system. Vitamin D is really crucial. You don't want a child to be in a deficient state as they're developing. It also supports their bone development and body development, musculoskeletal development. Very, very good. Calms the brain, also gets them ready as their bodies are developing prepubescent. Very, very beneficial. So I love vitamin D, and I'll include links down below. Some of these we sell actually in my online store. Others I'll include links to Amazon. They all do support my channel, so I'm grateful for your clicking on them. But regardless, this is all about helping your child support their body. Next up on the list is not yet a multivitamin, but detoxification. And that sounds really crazy, because how is it possible that we need to detox our children already? Well, the reality is that depending on what you're feeding them, what they're consuming outside of your sphere of influence, their water sources, skincare, their home environment, their kind of outdoor environment, that plays a role in them picking up toxins. And this is really crucial for you parents who might be like Brian, who want to have a beautiful green yard and want to take care of your yard, and you're using pesticides and herbicides and insecticides and all these other things that are very common and we don't even think about, and then their kids are running around playing. They're picking up a lot of chemicals, and even this applies to if they go to friends' houses, if they go to grandma and grandpa's, if at school. The reality is most schools are going to be spraying their grass, they're playing in sports. They have exposure, even if you put a little bubble around them. And there's a joke in our household that if I could, I would wrap Gabriel up in bubble wrap, and he is definitely beyond that phase of me really wanting to have a bubble boy. But the reality is that there's just so much we can't control as parents, and we have to accept it, but we have to arm our children, their bodies and their detox processes with powerful tools. And there's several tools, but I'm going to share with you 2 that we have always on hand. It's a staple. It's part of the routine. I'll break these down, how we use these. But they're herbal drops, and they basically address some of the emotional stuff that kids are dealing with, and specific to detoxing in their body. So this is what the Bioray Happy looks like, and this is for supporting a good mood. It supports brain function. It supports if they're hangry, if they have any type of craving of sugar. Let's say, for instance, your child says, oh my gosh, my butt itches. Well, that might be a sign that they have some parasitic exposure, or they're really craving breads and pastas. The herbs in this particular compound, it's quite a variety of herbs. So I'll zoom in here if you want to see what the label says. But it has green walnut hulls, lion's mane, salmon seal. It has ginseng, eleuthero, wormwood, clove, reishi. As you can see, it has both parasitic, anti-pathogenic herbs. So it's very supportive of a healthy digestive system, but also things that'll help the liver detox and support your child's just detox process, so that if they are dealing with any kind of toxicity that might be impacting their mood or behavior, this is really powerful. And I'll be frank, because I'm always transparent with you guys. We started a new school recently with Gabriel, and some of the changes, he's acting out a little bit, and his mood, he's always happy-go-lucky, but he's starting to demonstrate behaviors possibly that were in existence at the old school. Now he's got new requirements, he's in a bigger school, he's around bigger kids. But this is something that we use every day. I always can tell how he's responding, like if he's really excited about certain events or activities at school, or if he's kind of, you know, and kids get moody, but you just have resources at your tips. So kids do get moody, and it is expected, but these products really help kind of detoxify their body. The other thing that we'll use, and this is more so in the nighttime, the other Bioray herbal that we'll use, and this particular is used in the nighttime, it's their sleepy version. And this actually is going to help support an ease of falling asleep. Gabriel has not been ever great at sleeping. It does support their brain and their spirit, their focus. Bioray, the detox products, there is micronized chlorella in here. And the chlorella, the blue-green algae, it binds to toxins. And so it helps to relax and calm their brain. You know, when children are developing, the stores of toxins tend to be in their brain and in the fat tissues. So a lot of times when kids go through growth spurts, they might burn through some fat, and you might have kind of I call it, like, the psychology of it, it's like scatterbrain. It looks like a TV set, like shh. That's what's going on as our brains are resetting. We want to make sure we have low toxic burden on your children, because that does affect not only their mood, but their sleep as well. So those are two core essentials. And the last one that I want to share with you is the category of multivitamins. So in the multivitamin for kid category, I always go food first. So you want to make sure that they're just not going to be getting nutrients from a multivitamin, that their food is the primary source, and then secondary, you kind of round out any corners that may be that day's food sources or what they missed. So we actually will use two right now that are really, Gabriel loves them. It took him a little while to get on with both, but I powered through and kept encouraging, and he really has done well. The first one is the Good Day chocolate, and they have adult versions of this. They actually have a lot of different versions. They have a turmeric one too for adults, but it's a multivitamin, and it has fair trade chocolate, which I'm always a big fan of, and there's no artificial flavors or synthetic ingredients. There's no high fructose corn syrup. There's no gelatin or pectin. Those are things you want to try and avoid when you can. But sometimes for the younger kids, a gummy or a kind of chew is a much easier delivery than trying to force down liquid, because a lot of times the B vitamins and even the minerals will cause it to taste bad, and then they're turned off entirely. But this has a really good blend of everything that you need, all of the vitamins, A, C, D3, it has E, it has the B1, B2, B6. This is the core factor, why I love this. We have yet to test Gabriel on his any methylation defect. He's not showcasing any signs for it, but as he gets older, we will test him. Part of it, I'm not strong enough as a parent to go through a blood draw with him. So we're gonna kind of phase that out a little bit. But it has, what I love about this for kids who we know they have methylation challenges, or you just find your child has detox challenges, food allergies, food sensitivities, skin sensitivities, that'll be an indicator that maybe there's a methylation defect, a genetic defect. And we all have them, so it's not anything crazy. And when I say that, there's no judgment on you or your child. It's just sometimes the evolution of our DNA, our genes. This particular product has the methylated version of folic acid, or it has methylfolate, and it has the cobalamin. That is your B12. This is crucial. If you find you have a child that's really fatigued or lack of energy, or you notice maybe they bruise more easily, that is a sign that maybe they need a methyl version, a methylated, a better, more available, bioabsorbable that's a tongue twister, bioavailable nutrient that can bypass maybe the defect that they might have and really helps to energize them. It also has zinc and it has just a little sodium, but I love this. And it literally looks like an M&M. So we don't really eat M&Ms. We did some M&M potty training, but that was like for a few weeks. This looks like an M&M. It's chocolate oriented. It tastes really, really good. I always sample these before I give them to Gabriel, and I recommend you do too, because if you're trying to push something that absolutely is horrid in taste, your child is not going to eat it, and you've got to experiment first. The other one that is somewhat of like our dessert for dinner time is another type of multivitamin. This is a gummy multivitamin. There's 3 little gummies bears. This took Gabriel a little while to get in on it, but it's dairy-free, milk-free, wheat-free, soy, nut-free, egg, fish, shellfish. There's no yeast, no preservatives or additives. And it comes in these little packs. So this is great if you're traveling on the road. We do a fair bit of travel and did this summer. And it does have like a little sprinkling of sugar on the gummy itself. But Gabriel thinks these are treats. And so he'll ask for these, and he's getting a multivitamin. So, maybe it's the plague of my child being my child as a naturopath, but he thinks a treat is a gummy bear that's a multivitamin. I mean, I'm pretty proud of that fact. And if you are able to do that with your child, and they're not consuming junky, gunky sugar and candies and things like that, this is a really good way to get some nutrients into his body, his or her body. For us, it has to be Gabriel and just him. This again has all of the same items that this Good Day vitamin has, but it's not in the methyl form. So if your child might not have a methylation defect or you don't suspect it, these are totally fine. And they do we used to sell this in my clinic back in Florida. They have a fiber gummy. They have power sours that are multi-mineral, multivitamin. And then this is the Bare Essential Pack. And there are 90, so this is a 30-day supply. We get one a day. And honestly, if Gabriel gets I think the dose is 2 pieces. So he might do one of these in the morning. You might do one at dinner time, or maybe he'll follow up with one of those. We're totally fine with that. But I wanted to share that kind of detail with you. Right now, those are primarily what he's consuming. Other things on tap that I have, he has a vitamin C that he takes and probiotics. So we're always kind of moving the probiotic ball. This month, it happens to be the Garden of Life. It's in a refrigerated form, and there's a little dinosaur that he also takes. And then omegas. I always gravitate towards like Nordic Naturals. There are these little omega chews. And that's it. So we have trimmed down what we provide for him. And really, I'm happy with this as our kind of nutrient density right now with his growing brain, growing body. If you have any questions or are interested in experimenting with these, I'll include links down below, and welcome your input as parents, because I know a lot of you ask about your children, your young children, your teenagers, and I'm very excited to dig further into this type of content. So if you like this, want more of this content, please give me a thumbs up. Let's tell YouTube you love this content. Share it. Sharing's caring, as we say in our household. And then also, I'm going to encourage you to subscribe if you haven't, because we're going to be producing a lot of video content, kind of catching up this month on being in a timeout for 2 weeks. And I'm so grateful for your time. I'll see you guys later.